Good morning, Enid. It is 7:30 on this Thursday, February 22nd. Rather cold, icy, wintry Thursday morning. Glad that you're joining us. This is Good Morning Enid, and stay with us for the next 30 minutes for news, weather, sports. We've got some closings to share with you. All schools are closed, but we want to talk about some of the businesses and things of this nature. Thank you for joining us. Grab a cup of coffee. We've got a lot to share with you this morning. This is Good Morning Enid. It is time to rise and shine.
Good morning, Enid, and thank you again for joining us today on this cold and icy morning. It's currently about 28 degrees, and it's supposed to get up to a high of 33 degrees later. The roads are very icy, so be careful if you're going out today. There's a little bit of wind, not too much, just 5 to 10 miles an hour, but there is a 50% chance of freezing rain, so do be careful if you plan on going out.
Very good. And our drive in this morning is just kind of icy in spots, and just when you think it's clear, here comes the ice again. So, you know, 412 and 81 are pretty much clear in certain regards, but I think the fastest I got up to was 32 miles an hour.
I don't know if I even got up to that fast. I think I said 25.
But typically, icy conditions here in Oklahoma, you drive safely. And of course, when it's dark, it's hard to see some of the ice areas. Well, let's look at the 3-day forecast. This is February. We're working our way to March, and March is next week. But for the weekend, tomorrow looks a little bit better. Cloudy skies up to lower 40s, Saturday, Sunday in the 50s. Looks like the sun's going to return on Sunday. So typical late February, if you will, in Oklahoma, the up and down the roller coaster forecast. Let's look, we've got a couple things, statewide temperatures, and then we can look at the radar here in just a little bit. But across the state is in really the same conditions. I know the southern and southeastern part, southwest, yesterday received a lot of the ice. And so they're just a tad bit cooler, if you will. Daisy in southeast Oklahoma, they had around 5 inches of rain the last couple of days, Aaron. 5 inches
Wow.
in less than 2 days. So anyway, you can see some of the statewide temperatures. In the big city of Fargo is a cold 23, and they've had some snow out there this morning. So anyway, that's statewide temps. Radar may show there's some snow and sleet and the mixture of everything in the northwest part of the state to our west. And the Panhandle has received a lot of snow. So that's the latest radar. And the latest expectations for weather for us today is, again, as Aaron said, maybe near freezing today. So it's going to be cloudy, drizzly, some sleet, snow, and rain all mixed in today. So it's going to be kind of one of those wintry type days.
Yeah, not a fun day to go out.
So at 7:33, Aaron, let's take a look at some of the closings. I know we've got some of the entities, the important entities involved in the city are closed.
Yeah,
give us an update if you would.
Our public transportation is completely closed today, and our airport may be open later, but we're still holding out and looking into that. But for now, assume closed until later this afternoon. And our solid waste service is delayed until 11 o'clock today. So that's what's happening on.
Yeah, we spoke with Dan Onosorge a little bit earlier this morning, and he's thinking, as you said earlier this afternoon, it may be open. But again, it all depends on the temperature and the ice and so forth. If we can have those school slides back up there again, Pam, we appreciate you putting all this information together. These are, I'm sure all the area schools are closed, but this is the information that we have confirmation on. So, and you can see some of the college campuses are closed as well. So that's some of our closings this morning. Well, it's 7:34, and big news in the Olympics. Big news at Stillwater with Oklahoma State. Well, with all the big news, here's the Oklahoma Minute with the bow tie guy looking rather dapper this morning at 7:34. Here's Derek Silas with the Oklahoma Minute.
Well, congratulations is in order for Enid high school graduate and former Enid resident graduate Ken Mendenhall for selection into the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame. He played in Enid championship teams, was an All-American at the University of Oklahoma, and was in the NFL with the Baltimore Colts. The induction ceremony will be in August of 2018. And famed Billy Graham passed away yesterday at 99 years old at his home. He was counsel to several presidents, including Lyndon Johnson, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton. And on this day in history, in 1980, was the Miracle on Ice. In one of the most dramatic upsets in Olympic history, the underdog U.S. hockey team, made up of college players, defeats the four-time defending gold medal winning Soviet team at the 13th Olympic Winter Games in New York. And speaking of that, last night, the women make history when they defeat, 38 years later to the date, Canada. Isn't that amazing? Speaking of sports, tonight, the Thunder will go up against the Sacramento Kings at 9 p.m. It will air on Fox Sports Oklahoma. And on the Oklahoma Fun Fact, Oklahoma State flag design was chosen from a flag contest, and the winner was Louise Funk Fluke, with the sky blue field symbolizing loyalty and devotion, a warrior's buckskin shield representing defensive warfare, and an olive branch symbolizing love of peace and the part of a united people. And that's the Oklahoma Minute.
Thank you, Mr. Bowtie Guy. Dapper, you like that word, Aaron?
I do
Looking
like
dapper.
it, and it suits him. I think dapper is perfect.
It's 7:36. Good morning, Enid. Thank you for joining us. Holding steady at 28 degrees. Icy conditions, kind of misty, drizzling out there, but it's cold. High today, 33, so it's not going to get much warmer. Be kind of a cloudy. Again, with school closed and a lot of the services in the community closed, one of those stay-in type of days. Well, there's a very special day this Saturday. We've got an opportunity to say happy birthday to a young lady, Mary Belcher. Aaron, how old is Mary going to be on Saturday?
She's turning 90, so really young.
90. So Mary Belcher, here in Enid, Oklahoma, we wish you the best. So we're singing happy birthday to you, even though we're not going to do it right now. But in our hearts, we're singing happy birthday again this Saturday. Happy birthday, Mary Belcher. And her daughter turned that in for us. So if you have a birthday, you can send that in as well. And someone near and dear to us, Charlotte Ringwald. Bless her heart, I thought she was only 16 years old, but now we know. Charlotte looks every bit of 17, but she is a vital part of Good Morning Enid show. And she's called the Pet Whisperer, is that right?
She's amazing with pets, so it suits her.
She is. Charlotte, we think the world of you, and we appreciate what you do for all of our animals and all the adoptions. And so happy birthday to Charlotte as well. Okay, it's 7:38. The morning's getting away. It's time for What's Happening. And here's Aaron to fill us in on really what's happening.
Thank you, Steve. There is quite the weekend planned out for us. On Friday night starts the Chisholm Strip Show and Sell, which is an event starting Friday and going until March 24th. It's during regular admission to the museum, and this is your place to go if you're looking for any kind of Western arts and crafts. They have homemade cowboy gear. They have cowboy boots, which everyone loves cowboy boots, so you got to go and check those out. Sculptures, paintings, rawhide works, and pottery. So it'll be a wonderful event. You can go see the museum and then go to this show and sell place and buy some awesome Western gear. Then on Saturday, we have the 4th annual Garfield County Ducks Unlimited Banquet, which is at 6 p.m. doors open, and at 7 the dinner starts. It is at Heartland Place, and this is a wonderful organization. They've already conserved over 14 million acres of wetlands, and they have over 700,000 members worldwide. It is an American nonprofit organization, and it helps promote safe and regulated hunting, replant forests, and restore grasslands. So it's great. There's going to be raffles, auctions. They'll be giving away guns. So if you're into anything like that or want to support conservation, head over to the 4th annual Garfield County Ducks Unlimited Banquet. And then Tuesday, there's Enid Day at the Capitol. It starts at 8 a.m. in Oklahoma City, so you got to get up really early if you want to get any waffles, because there's a waffle breakfast there. You get to meet with the legislators. They'll highlight issues, funding priorities, and projects that impact Enid and northwestern Oklahoma. And our mayor and Gerald Gilbert, our city manager, will both be there. Also, our good friends Steve and Derek will also be attending this event. So if you want to look into issues and priorities that are facing Enid right now, definitely head over there. And a bunch of business leaders will be there, so it's definitely a great place to check out. So that's what's happening this weekend.
Very good. It's 7:40. Good morning, Enid. We'd like to remind you, our good friend Jennifer Kissling, we had invited her to come out in these icy conditions, and imagine that. She decided to stay home and eat waffles instead. I can't imagine why she wouldn't want to be with us. But seriously, she was going to be here to talk about the Northwest District Junior Livestock Show, one of the largest here in Northwest Oklahoma. You see the dates, the 27th through March 4th. Jennifer Kissling plays a big role in that. It's one of the, I'd say, well-kept secrets in Enid. Chisholm Trail Expo Center. It's a huge event, brings a lot of people to the community. Aaron, I think there's all kinds of judging and events, and what do we know about some of the schedules?
Yeah,
of
we
some
have
of the shows?
we have the show times up right here.
Oh,
we have
okay.
cattle and sheep, all kinds of good stuff.
And so you can see several days, and that concludes on a Monday with the premium auction. So we'll have more information on ETN throughout our bulletin board series here on the Enid Television Network. Again, the Northwest District Junior Livestock Show is underway, or will be underway, starting on the 27th. And we appreciate Jennifer Kissling for providing us that information. It's 7:41. Had the privilege the other day. Burns Hargis, I think he was the 8th president, maybe the 18th president, excuse me, of Oklahoma State University. Anyway, he came to the ETN studios, and we had a sit-down meeting, and here's a portion of that interview with the Oklahoma State University president, Burns Hargis. As president of Oklahoma State University, here's the very first question. What in the world do you do as president?
Oh.
Great job, huh?
Well, you never get bored in this job. You know, I kind of describe the job as president of having three main functions. One is to manage a pretty big operation. We have a $1.3 billion budget and 4,000 or 5,000 employees and 25,000 students, and that's just OSU, Stillwater, and Tulsa. Then you've got the other campuses, OSU Oklahoma City and OSU IT, which is in Okmulgee, and then, of course, the Center for Health Sciences. So it's a big operation, and so, yeah, management of it is important. Obviously, fundraising is very important, especially with the declining state support of higher education over the last few years. And then finally, it's a very political job. Not only external politics, but internal politics. A college campus is a very political place. With tenured professors and everybody having kind of their space that
Sure.
their domain. And I always quote Woodrow Wilson when he was when he ran for governor of New Jersey. He was actually president of Princeton, and a reporter asked him why he was leaving Princeton, and he said to get out of politics.
Interesting. Well, it definitely falls into the category of a Fortune 100 organization with those numbers you just shared with us. I'm not necessarily a full history buff, Burns, but I do like some things about Winston Churchill, and recently there's been a movie about some of his days during World War II, if you will. And years ago, I remember reading a piece about him that he made the comment that he had been preparing all of his life for that moment. And that moment was when the bombs were dropping on London, but he had been preparing all of his life for that moment. So this ties into my next question. With your background with Bank of Oklahoma, an attorney, and all that you've been involved in, just philanthropy and everything, do you feel this current role as president at OSU, you've been preparing all your life for that moment?
Well, in retrospect, I have had some experience that would suggest that, but I sure as heck could never have this in my plan. This was kind of the last thing on my list, and when they first started talking to me about it, I thought it was just really preposterous. But when you do consider the job and I think that those really are the important functions of the president, it's hard to learn that in the classroom. But normally the normal kind of evolution
Sure.
of people that become presidents of universities come from the academic side, of course, and they've been department heads and
Right.
deans and so on, and then become provosts, perhaps, and they don't really get involved in a lot of the fundraising and a lot of the management that you have to engage in when you're in that position. So I think you're seeing more and more of this kind of profile in university presidents. It's still certainly the minority, but I think people are realizing with the difficulties and the competition that you're in this business, this enterprise, you really need to have some of those experiences.
It's been 10 years, and it seemed like a decade, or 10 years used to feel like 10 years. Now it's closer to what, 2-3 years? It just goes so quick. And Burns, if I recall, it seems like during your tenure at Oklahoma State, there's been a couple tragic incidents that have taken the school by surprise, families, and also the state. But there's something, as a kid growing up in Perry, I'm very familiar with Stillwater and Oklahoma State. But it seems like in the last decade, there's been this real resurgence, this Oklahoma standard, as people refer to. But there's something special that when tragedy has hit your campus, your university, Oklahoma State, that people bounce back. Can you kind of share with us, where does this resilience come from, and this strength, I guess the inner strength?
Yeah, I've been asked about my role in those things. Of course, the two things you're referring to are it's before 10 years, we had the horrible basketball plane crash.
Right.
But the first of these real tragedies was when we lost Kurt Buckey and Miranda Cerner and the Brandstetter family from Ponca City in the plane crash. And then, of course, the homecoming parade tragedy. And in both cases, I think that the OSU family, and I do think there's a sense of family. I'm sure it exists in many schools, but they're really, and I tell you where I think it comes from, Steve. Even though the majority of our students come from major metropolitan areas, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Dallas, Kansas City, that kind of small town, rural kind of
flavor,
attitude of how you treat each other and permeates that campus and permeates those who didn't grow up in that environment. And I think that's a very supportive ecosystem that really engages in those kinds of circumstances. And that's certainly been my experience.
It's difficult to label that, and I said flavor, but it's difficult to put a label on that culture or what's in the air on the university, but it's real. But it's real.
It really is, and that's what I attribute it to. I think our rural roots serve us very well.
Yeah. We want to talk about enrollment and the numbers in just a few moments, but I want to talk a little bit about diversity. It's a popular topic in today's world. Everybody's talking about diversity in the workplace or in school. But so tell us what Oklahoma State's doing in regard to diversity.
Well, we made diversity a real priority when Ann and I got to OSU, because we think it's important to have everybody represented on campus. You're going to be dealing with people from different races, different religions, different backgrounds, and all the rest. And a college campus is a great amalgam of that. But we've never been that diverse in our size. That may also be attributable to those rural roots that I was talking about. It's also the fact that we're an hour away from both Oklahoma City and Tulsa, so we don't have access to the large, diverse populations that are in our state, that mostly are in that part of the state. So we really had to be proactive on it to be. So we named a diversity chairman or vice president, which we hadn't had. And we really
Very good. Burns Hargis, president of Oklahoma State University. And in March, just next week, he'll be celebrating his 10th year as president. It was a great visit. We appreciate his time to stop by the Enid Television Network studios. We'll have the entire interview and show for you in the next week or so. So we appreciate Burns coming by. It's 7:49, holding steady at 28 degrees. Drive safely this morning. Freezing drizzle out there. Some of the streets really slick, some not so slick. We'll talk about closings in just a moment. But I would like to mention, we're missing Sarah. Sarah's in sunny California on vacation, but she'll be back with us next week. So appreciate Aaron filling in and taking care of a lot of things.
Thank you. And speaking of this weather, I'm sure there are a lot of closings, as Steve said. So Derek, can you tell us a little bit more about what's closed today?
Sure. Just want to remind everybody concerning the businesses, the Enid Transit will not be running today because of the inclement weather, and the airport is closed until further notice. Solid waste services will be delayed until about 11 a.m. today. So those are the business closing. And as far as the schools, all of the area schools, OBA, Chisholm, Enid High, NOC, and NWSU are closed. However, the district games at Chisholm have not been canceled as of yet, and they should begin at 8 p.m. if they're still on. So just keep looking at the news, and you'll know whether or not it's going to change or not. And speaking of all these events, here is Kevin for more upcoming events at the Central National Bank Center.
Welcome inside the Central National Bank Center. I'm the general manager, Kevin Brisky, and as you can see, the court is still down. We have 2 more weekends of some great high school basketball action. Class A area tournament this weekend. Next weekend, Class 2A area tournament. For this weekend, it all starts this afternoon. Garber plays, Ringwood playing later tonight, so some local schools in it, and then Friday evening, Pond Creek boys play as well, so definitely check it out. Going to be some great basketball here at the Central National Bank Center this weekend and next weekend with the area tournaments getting ready for these high school teams to go on to the state championships. After that, it's a busy, busy March. We have the circus coming on March 7th. Tickets for that only $20, and a lot of places around town you can get a free children's coupon with a purchase of an adult ticket, and it's going to feature acrobats, aerialists, animals, you name it, gonna enjoy it. Then on March 10th, we have the Enid Roller Girls in action. That's a lot of fun. If you haven't seen a roller derby bout, check it out. Only $10 a person if you purchase in advance. A great night for the family, inexpensive, and something you've probably never seen before. You won't regret it. It's a ton of fun. Then March 22nd, we have Casting Crowns coming, one of the top Christian groups in the nation. Going to be right here in Enid. Don't want to miss that. Tickets start at $28. We then have Land Run Beer Fest on April 21st, and we have Ron White coming on May 18th. He's going to be a lot of fun. And then in August, an event that everyone's talking about already, and it's still months and months away, Enid's first Comic-Con, going to be right here at the Central National Bank Center on August 4th and 5th. Tickets only $10 per day. You don't want to miss it. Going to be buying, selling, trading, comics and other types of toys and games, and the cosplay contests that are going to be going on as well. Going to be a ton of fun. So that'll be August 4th and 5th. So a lot going on in the Central National Bank Center. A ton still more to come. We'll keep you posted as we announce it. But for tickets, 855-TICKS-ENID, cnbcenter.com, or just stop down and visit us at the Central National Bank Center box offices. Until next time, we send it back into the studio.
Thanks, Kevin. Those look like some pretty great events. I mean, a circus, roller derby, and a Comic-Con. I can't believe
You could be a roller derby person. Now, that's a compliment, Aaron. That's a compliment. Don't put your elbow in me.
All right, I'll try not to. But the weather today, since we want to keep up on that, it's 28 degrees currently. The roads are very icy, so be careful. Some of the roads aren't so bad, but still be very careful on some of those roads.
Is there any way we can have the bus stop forecast up there for everyone to see? There we go.
Yeah, so
Thank
they
you.
can see the 28 degrees currently, high of 33, so not much warmer than it is now. Not very much wind today, 5 to 10 miles an hour, but a 50% chance of freezing rain. So the roads are probably just going to get more icy. So be very careful if you are planning on going out today.
Even though the bus stop is there, it is not running today, and Derek will tell us about that in just a few moments. We have a city council meeting tonight here on this Thursday, February 22nd. Study session gets underway at 5 and the council meeting at 6:30. As far as I know, that meeting will be held this evening. The reason it's Thursday is because we had the President's Day holiday, and that pushed our city council meeting from the Tuesday to Thursday. And you can see that on your computer, smartphone, any device at enidtv.org or on Channel 12 and 112, because we live streamed that. So you can watch that, enidtv.org. So that's for tonight. John Doak, the insurance commissioner for the state of Oklahoma, Had the privilege to interview John. Great visit. Talked about all types of insurance situations, if you will, for Oklahoma residents. And that's coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. At 7:54, Good Morning Enid. Thank you for joining us on this wintry Thursday morning. It's good to have Derek, the bow tie guy, with us up here front and center. So, Derek, what's the latest on the closings?
Well, schools are still closed. All of the area schools are closed. And of course, we were to talk about the solid waste services. They will be delayed until 11 a.m. The airport will be closed until further notice. Just watch our Facebook page for more information on all of these. The Enid Transit bus services will not be running today because of inclement weather. And one of our favorite segments of this show is with those cuddly and furry animals. So here's Charlotte Ringwald to tell you the pet of the week.
Hi, good morning. Today we have Gracie. Gracie's in pen 4, and she is a 2-year-old female, kind of terrier shepherd mix. And she is very sweet, and she thinks she's a lap dog, and she's looking for a new home. So please come by and visit Gracie. Back to you guys.
And again, happy birthday, number 31, to Charlotte Ringwald. All along, she told us that she just barely got a driver's license at age 16 or something. Thank you, Penn, for putting that up there. And again, Charlotte does such a great job with us, for us at the Animal Control, and all the officers do a great job for us. So happy birthday. And who was your friend that had the 90th birthday as well?
Mary Belcher is her name, 90.
So again, happy birthday, Mary. Big special day for you on Saturday the 24th. And I forgot to put the cows up earlier this morning. If you have a birthday, special picture, ice storm pictures, anything, you can send them to gme@enid.org, and we'll put them on our live Good Morning Enid show. So send your pictures to the Holsteins, and they'll get them to us. It's 7:57, as Aaron said, holding steady around 28 degrees. High today, maybe near freezing, so it's not going to change much. Again, we want to talk about the Northwest Oklahoma Livestock Show. Our friend Jennifer Kisling provided information for us. That gets underway on the 27th, goes all the way to March 4th. That's just around the corner. And it's a big event. You can see where it concludes on Monday, March 5th with the premium auction. All these young people, I think it's age 8 to 18, spend so much time raising the cattle, the sheep, and the hogs, if I can say hogs, the pigs as well. And that's the show schedule. So which show are you going to, Aaron?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think I've ever actually been to a livestock show before, so maybe all of them.
Maybe all of them, yeah. Derek, you're our director of social media. So what do you want to remind people today about social media, where to look, and Facebook and things of this nature? Where can they find all the information about closings and what's happening?
They can go to our Twitter page, twitter.com/City of Enid, or they can go to our Facebook page, and you can just type in City of Enid, and it'll come up. And all of our updates will be there concerning the weather and the closings, EPTA, airport, solid waste services, all of those.
Okay. So you can find all this information on our Facebook accounts at City of Enid, also our website, and throughout the Enid Television Network, we have the bulletin board, as we call it, with all that information. Well, again, drive safely today, folks, on this Thursday, February 22nd. We look forward, because we'll see you next week, and it'll be March. You ready for that? I think we're all ready for March. So, Aaron, thank you for double duty, doing all your work today, and we miss Sarah. Thank you for joining us on Good Morning Enid. Drive safely, everyone. Bundle up. It's cold out there, very slippery. And even though it doesn't look like there's a lot of ice, our parking lot was the slipperiest. Be careful today. Thanks for joining us.